Hello everyone, welcome to a review of a 2003 Mitsubishi Charisma. This being the facelifted model of the Charisma that came out in 1997. As you can see, it's not the most exciting of designs, but I think actually it doesn't look so bad. To me anyway. Sometimes you need a design that is under the radar. So because of its conservative design, it's actually aged rather well, I would say. For a car that's 17 years old, doesn't look so bad. As you can see, the previous owners, 3 of them, have looked after this car very well. This is just dirt, not rust. So the car has been looked after fantastically well, so credit to them. So if we look at the interior, this particular model has leather interior, but this is the cheap type leather. Looks like here it is not being used in the back. These are quite nice, comfortable seats. Headroom is quite good because of the design being quite not too slopey. The headroom is very good, and I'm 5'6", I've got plenty of space, so if you're 6 foot you should be able to get in okay. The hump isn't too big. The car isn't actually that wide, so getting 3 adults in is going to be a squeeze. Excuse me while I get out of the car. So getting 3 adults in is going to be a squeeze. There's the armrest, nice and comfortable. None of these silly cup holders to hit your elbow on, so it's nice and supple. But yeah, 2 adults in the back, nice and comfortable. 3's a squeeze. Legroom isn't the greatest, I'm afraid, which is a bit of a disappointment considering how relatively long this vehicle is. Right, looking at the front, not the most exciting of designs. Excuse the key over there. Again, the seats have worn really nice, although it's cheap leather. It's worn very well. Having said that, this car has only done 71,000 miles. That's the only downside to these cheap leathers. When you go in, it's a bit slippery and you can feel the cheapness. But but it is what it is. It's a budget car back then. And here's the interior. Have a little look around. Nice little gearbox. These automatic gearboxes are very reliable. What you need to do though, every 40-odd thousand miles, is change the gearbox oil, which is critical, and then it will run smooth as silk. And looking at the dash, it's all hard plastics everywhere, but as you can see, they wear well. Although they're hard, there's no creaking or anything like that. Everything's working. Air conditioning. This is an aftermarket CD player. I like this little feature here, where you got the cigarette lighter, etc., hidden away. Nice little feature. The glove box, relatively big, and that's about it really with this sort of car. Only front electric windows, air conditioning. This is done 71,000 miles. Nice little sporty dial. In terms of the engine, you can hear it's relatively quiet. One thing I would say is that these seat bolsters, they're not the longest in the world, so even someone like me who's 5'6", I don't get too much under thigh support, so long journeys may be a bit of an issue. However, if you're doing short journeys, etc., of less than an hour or so, they'll do. They're comfortable enough. The suspension is on the softer side. Let me close the door. It's a bit of, what I should point out, a little bit of sagging there, where the where the glue's started to wear off. Nice little silver accents there on the door handles. That's quite nice. Nice little touch. In otherwise a bland interior. But it's functional. If you want something functional, and you got a couple of cup holders, and you got some storage in the back there, no armrest, but it's a basic interior but comfortable for local driving. Longer motorway drives, I would say the seats aren't supportive enough. to like compete. I'd rather really get like the Toyota Corolla or the Carina, whatever it's called these days, of the time. That is really comfortable. Versus I had a bit of a brain freeze. It's actually the Toyota that I was trying to refer to as a reliable alternative. Obviously, if you can go for more sporty drive, then you go for the Mondeo of the time. And my personal favourite during that period in the early 2000s or late 90s to early 2000s, the VW Passat, which was by a fair margin the best car in the class of the time. But obviously you paid a premium. The funny thing is, now if you try and get like a 03 Passat and this Mitsubishi, they're more or less the same price. Why? Because these cars here are a lot more reliable and dependable, and the maintenance is very low. One thing to watch out for these, on top of the automatic gearbox oil changes, is make sure the cam belt is done every 60,000 miles or 72 months, whichever comes sooner. Other than that, it's a nice robust car. It's nothing else to it. It is what it is. Let's have a look at the boot. So this being the hatchback form, it's a huge boot. Look at that. And the seats fold down, so if you're one of those people in the trade, plumbing or whatever, or painter decorator, something like this will be a fantastic workhorse for you. One little annoying thing I find is that although the seats do fold, you have to use the key to unlock it, which is a bit over the top, I'd say, but anyway, it is what it is. And underneath you get full-size spare wheel. So in summary, nice, comfortable for in-town driving, and hugely reliable as long as you keep up the maintenance on the cam belt, and also which is every 60,000 miles, and the gearbox oil change every 40,000 miles if it's the automatic version. Obviously the manual, that doesn't apply. But as you can see, nice and quiet. Might be boring, but it gets you from A to B without any fuss at all. Obviously alternatives of the era, you've got the Passat, the Mondeo, you've got the Avensis, aforementioned Avensis. So those are the alternatives. And obviously if you're going to be doing long motorway runs, then the Mondeo, the Avensis and the Passat are the better options. But in terms of reliability, the only thing that really comes close to this is the Avensis, and the Passat and Mondeo cannot touch this in terms of cheap maintenance. So if you're after something cheap without low maintenance, then this is well worth considering. But there aren't many of these around, unfortunately, looking on Auto Trader. So if you can get one, grab one. Nice little workhorse. Okay, hope you liked. Do subscribe and put the notifications on, and see you soon.